Okay, so we're going to make a video here today using Photoshop. Using the Refine Edge tool, you're going to get a chance to play around with it. It's a different tool. You don't need to use the magnetic lasso tool anymore. This is Refine Edge tool is a great tool to use when you have really like a fuzzy edge, like somebody with like really frizzy hair, or just something that's really difficult to make a magnetic lasso tool selection with. So here we go, Information Technology 7. You can open up Photoshop document. Again, you need to be working with the CC program, although I think they do have it in the Elements program now. I'm not 100% sure on that. So we'll work from this document here. Groovy. Okay. Open up File. Open. I'm looking in, just to show you where this will be on your desktop. And if you scroll down to your Information Technology 7, computer's lagging a little bit. Open it up. You're going to have photo samples inside there, and this time we're taking the koala. Let's double click on that. There we go. So you got an image that's got like a fuzzy edge to it. This is the thing that we're looking for, and this is what you can use if this is the case. First thing is you click on the Quick Selection tool. So it's underneath the magnetic lasso tool. It's just below it. Click on it to select it. You can see that there's a Refine Edge button at the top of that tool. Now this works interestingly like a brush. So if you want to make your selection size bigger, use the square bracket, the right square bracket, and once you make a selection, you click on it, you can see that part of the image is selected, and then you can drag the brush towards more of the selection that you want to make, and you kind of sort of brush on your selection. So I'll just make my selection bigger by using my brush tool. There we go. Just gently, carefully bring it to the edge. Notice that it selected some of the outside of the shape here too.
Eva Bradner, please come to the office.
So I'll select the bottom of the image too. I just want the koala bear. I don't want the outside. Notice that it made a mistake and it selected too much down here, and I'll show you how to fix that. There we go. So I just want the outside of the ear there. I want the arm as well. So I notice all of a sudden it chose to select that, that whole section. So I don't want that. So a couple of things. I'm going to make the brush a little bit smaller because it somehow makes a more accurate selection with it smaller. And I'm going to hold the Alt key down, and notice the positive sign here changes to a negative. You can also see the three selections here, or the two selections. There's a positive and a negative. Positive adds to the selection. Negative, if you were to click that, it would subtract from the selection. Another way you can do it is click the positive and hold the Alt key down, and then it changes from a positive to a negative inside your circle, and then you can brush the selection backwards. So you push it back, and it will make an automatic judgment on what you're looking for. It's a little tricky to use if your image on the inside is way different than it is on the outside. I'm going to make my brush much smaller, and then I'm going to hold the Alt key down, and I'm just going to click inside the middle here because I want to get rid of that section in the center as well. And now back to the bottom corner, Alt key down, and I'll brush the tool around there. Good. Now I've got a selection. I just might clean up in the top here as well. There we go. Push that down towards the edge. And that's pretty good. This might be the part of the koala down here. I don't really care so much about it. I don't think it is. It might be or might not be. It's not really going to worry me in terms of what I want to do next with my image. So next thing I want to do though, once I have a quick selection done, is hit the Refine Edge button and then move the window over to the side. So you can see all of a sudden I've got some interesting things that have happened here. Your default setting is probably going to be different than mine. So a couple of things you're going to do is you're going to make sure that your smart radius is selected, and you want to increase your smart radius by a whole bunch. what the smart radius is, if I have show radius and I adjust the radius to something different, you can see that more of the image is selected, more pixels of the image is selected as I make it increase. And what it's actually doing is it's looking within that radius that you're looking at, the selection there, and it's going to blur the image. It's going to look within that to see what to make a selection of. So that's the area of focus basically the tool is looking at. If I deselect the show radius, it shows my original image again. And yeah, so more or less what it's done is it's made a calculation of what's in the image, what's outside of the image, and it's looking to see, you can see some of the hair is selected, some of it's not. It shows you the background in some cases, in other cases it doesn't. To make even more of a selection, what I can do is I can hit the Refine Radius tool right here, and this is a brush. And again, with all brushes you can make smaller and bigger using the square brackets. And what I can do now is I can use the brush tool, and it reveals everything that I'm painting on basically, and when I let it go, it makes a refine edge in wherever that brush was. So you can go over the entire edge, or some of the areas where it didn't really make that good of a selection, like in through here for example, and it'll bring more of the background in. It'll basically tell the computer program that this is the area that you want it to focus on to make more of a selection of what's inside, what's outside, and it'll clean up the edge a little bit for you. So wherever you see the edge isn't that well done, you can do that with it, and it'll identify more carefully what's the image and what's not the image. There we go. That's the best way to explain it. So I'll just go over the edge kind of carefully, gently. There we go. Done. That's pretty much it. So now I have an image here that's selected. I've got lots of detail with the hair and whatnot, and I can the background's basically going to be using as a layer mask and is going to be deleted, so we can paste this guy with hair and everything onto another background. Now, a couple things to do before we do that is the output 2 has to be selected to a layer mask. That's what we're going to be doing, is showing you, and then we can further refine the image as well. Clicking on Remember Settings is probably a good idea. That way the next time you use this, all these settings are going to be the same. Your radius will be the same. Layer mask will be selected as well, so you don't have to mess around with it. We don't really use the Adjust Edge tools too much. I guess if we were more, doing a more complicated application, we could use that. You can see that the background is now deleted. You can also see that in the layer itself with the koala bear, there's what is again called a layer mask. This is like a black and white mask. The black showing what's hidden, and the white showing the image that's showing. So an interesting thing that we can do with this is we can actually paint on the layer mask and change what's hidden and change what's showing. And we do it like this. We click on the layer mask, and then down in the bottom left hand corner we've got a black and a white. We can paint more white onto this layer mask, and what it'll do is it'll reveal more of the background. Or if we painted more black, then we would paint more hidden section, more mask. Okay, so we can switch back and forth by using these buttons. And if you ever notice that these are two different colors, because your color panel has, let's say, selected as red or something else, a different color, you can make it go back to black and white by hitting this button here, just above the two. So now, again, you can switch back and forth. So if you wanted to paint more hidden section, let's say black, put the black to the foreground, and then you can select your paintbrush or hit your B key, and then you could paint more hidden section on there, for example. I'll increase my opacity up top here and to 100% to show you. So you want to get rid of this paw for some reason. Okay, you would paint more black using the black color on your mask while it's selected, and you would hide that selection. I don't really like that. I'm going to undo the brush tool. Or if you wanted to show more of the image, then you would switch that and paint more white. So if you thought you wanted more of the paw showing, then you could just click on the paw, and there you go, it brings more of the paw. Some of it was erased. Okay, that being said, we want to combine the image together Hi. So, it's okay. That was the custodian. He surprised me, but he's going to be nice to us, and he's going to do the wood shop first. Anyhow, so what we want to do is we want to combine the layer mask and the picture itself, so it's like one image. And so what we do is we go to the image. I believe it's image. No, layer mask. Right, there we go. So if we go to layer mask under layer and we click apply, then it'll apply our layer mask onto our layer, and it will get rid of the background. Okay, so that's pretty much what I wanted to show you in terms of using the layer mask. What I'd like you to do is to work with the layer mask, work with your zoom in tool, and see how accurate you can make an edge be refined. The next step that's involved is going to be bringing in a background, and again, I'm working kind of fast through this. You're going to take a little more time making your refined edge, and we're going to go with a lighthouse. Again, this is back in your pictures, your sample pictures on your desktop in your link, your Information Technology 7 link. Open it up, and it'll open it up beside. There we go. I'm going to take this picture, and I'm going to select all of it. I want the whole picture. So I'll go select under the tab there and click all. I'll press Control C to copy. Go back to my lighthouse picture, Control V, paste it. Now, I've got my foreground picture on top of my background. It's a little bit big. It's hiding more than I want, but what I like about it is I can see through the hair there. I can see, kind of looks like my koala's sort of photobombing my picture of my lighthouse, which is kind of neat. But what I want to do is I want to make my koala a little bit smaller, so I'll go to my selection tool at the top, and I also want to go show transformation controls. What it shows is the little handles show up on the outside of the image. Now, a couple of things about this. If I click and drag it, I can change it, make it taller, do all sorts of funky things that makes my koala look weird. So I don't want to do that. If you hit the Shift key button and do that, it keeps the aspect ratio of my koala bear, so it looks like it's normal still. So that's what I want to do. I want to do that and hold the Shift key down when I'm changing the size. Other thing I can do is I can click on the koala, I can move him. I want to move him down towards the bottom and towards the right, because some of his ear over here is not showing anymore. It looks kind of weird. So I'll put him in the bottom right hand corner of my picture. Now it looks like he's photobombing for sure, but I can still see a little bit behind him. What I want to actually do though is bring some more color from the background so it looks more like I can see more of the background, especially behind his ears. So I think right there is pretty good. I kind of like how it looks behind the head there too. Okay, so I'll leave it at that. Now, when you're done that, we're going to see we have two images here. We're going to merge our layers. So go layer. Oh, hold on a sec. Might have to deselect things here. That's what it was. Yes. You always have to apply your transformation whenever you make it. So whenever you click on anything else, it'll ask you to apply your transformation. There we go. Now I can go back to my layer, and I can merge all my visible layers together, and that'll make one picture. There we go. Done deal. Now I can save it. Save as. Go to my, where do I save this again? Pictures. Oh yes, in my pictures folder, we've got pictures for IT7. We're going to call this Refine Edge Koala. We'll call it, I don't remember how to spell that. Koala. There it is. Koala, koala, and lighthouse. So shows what's in there. Can keep it more like a title and have all my letters be in capitals if I want to. It's not really that important at this point. I may get you to hand this in, and if you do, then I would like you to make all of your words capital, except for the and. That's not an important word, so it doesn't really need to be there. But again, save it in your pictures folder as a JPEG. Okay, and when you've got that, you can leave it as 8 as your quality. That's pretty good. And then also save as in your documents folder, and again just keep it refine edge koala lighthouse dot. This time leave it as a PSD file. PSD, there we go. That way if you wanted to come back into this file and work on it some more, you could always do that. Alright, that's it for the tutorial for today, and yeah, have some fun with it, and we'll see you in the next one.